Good evening, Razorback fans. Welcome to season 2, episode 5 of the weekly Women's Sports Report. I am Porter Hayes, and tonight, joining us via the Metters Lumber Hotline, we bring in women's tennis head coach Tucker Clary. Hey, man, I appreciate you working the extra hours to come on the show tonight, man.
No, we had some late individuals, so it was my pleasure. Excited to be on.
Well, like we were talking about before we started recording, being able to come by and tour the facility last year when you were the assistant coach, getting to talk to you. And then when we found out you had become the head coach, I was very ecstatic because in our meeting, I could tell you had a passion for the sport, the team. When I was asking you about the players, you just had so much passion about your team. And so I was very glad to hear that you got the promotion.
I appreciate that. No, it was an awesome conversation. I think sometimes I have to learn the information about everything else because I wasn't as good as the rest of them here. So if you can't beat them, you got to learn as much as possible.
So you were talking before we started recording. First time you stepped up into that head coaches meeting, and I told you you're not alone. I've had 5 coaches now say the same thing. Just talk about you becoming the head coach, what that meant to you, and then of course when you stepped into that first head coaches meeting.
Oh, it's imposter syndrome for sure. I was fortunate enough, I guess I would say, to have the training wheels a bit last year. We did 9 regular season matches when I was the interim, and 2, going to the postseason, and they were amazing. We have a head coaches group text, and everyone was nothing but supportive. Giving advice when they can, or some just reaching out and saying, "Hey, if you ever need anything, we've got you." But yeah, it's incredible. It's some of the I was telling you off camera, you get into this to be able to sit at the table with some of the best there is in your own industry, but to go in there and just see the best of the best just in your own facility, it's incredible. You walk in there and sometimes you just want to shut up and listen, right? Because some of these guys have these things to say that you take with. I mean, so many of those things I go in, I reiterate to my team, and it's incredible how well it works. But no, it's intimidating for sure. But they're some of the most amazing people and have been so kind. And like you see the head coach group text every week, like SEC title, and you're going, okay, it makes you want to work so much harder, and it adds a little bit of pressure, but that's what we're here for.
So what are some of the things without naming who you heard them from? What were some of the things that you learned that you've taken away from those meetings and been able to implement in your first season here at Arkansas?
I'll tell you the most influential thing, and I'll tell you, it was me, Jay, and Colby Hale at a road show, and getting to spend time with Colby. He's not afraid to tell you exactly how he feels, and he's also not afraid to help you. Whether it's just like the relatability of being able to mountain bike and stuff like that he goes and takes his family to, or just the fact that he started with what he had, where they were, where he came from. I mean, it was amazing just to sit there and, first of all, even that they even knew my name was, and then go off and see how he built his program, and really just about getting down to work and doing it your way. I'm not a big, I need this, I need that. This to me is Apple in the closet, right? Or in the garage. I think this is one of the best facilities, the best places in the country. I'm from an hour and a half away. And for me to be the head coach here, it was, just let me go to work and let me see what I can do and test drive the cars, so to speak. So when he kind of gave me that feeling of, hey, just go and do your thing, don't ask, like everything will come with you the harder you work.
Yes, and I have had the pleasure of sitting in on one of his practices and how he conducts himself. I mean, it's like I was playing sports again. I mean, it's amazing how the players take to him. And he's hard, he's direct, but he treats Anna just the way he does a walk-on. I mean, I've seen him sit her out on the sideline because she didn't do a drill right, and there was no questions asked. He said, "Get your butt on the sideline, come in on the next drill." There was no argument, there was no back talking. It was a yes, sir, went on the sideline and come back in. And that's what really, when it comes to how he conducts himself, but seeing like how you are and being a sponge and how you're this program, I could see where this success can start taking off.
I appreciate that. I mean, me and Colby are very different in our approaches, but I think at the end of the day, it's all the same beast, right? We're all trying to see how good we can get at this, but we don't lose sight of the girls. I mean, that story is amazing. There's days where the girls will tell me their opinion, and I think it's amazing. I think having ownership in what you do. I mean, they were 18 years old and some of the best players in the world when they came in. And for me to act like I know everything it's never been my recipe. I go about it in the way I think is best for our program. And I let the girls have a big voice because before I got here, they were successful. When I was the assistant, they were successful. When I was the interim, they were successful. And this team's going to go as far as they want it to go. I mean, there's some of the most incredible group of girls. I really hope stuff like this brings to light how amazing they are and their personalities, because I think on the women's side, especially, if you just go and you see a match and you go see a couple of them hit the tennis ball, you go, wow, this is a different level. And I think to give shine to these young ladies is everything. So yeah, he does it in a way that I respect the absolute hell out of. And I think there's time and place for absolutely everything. And for me, like, there's days where you have to tell the truth, and there's days that you have to tell the truth in a different light, right? And it's different for each and every person and each and every kid, and it's all about how you get to understand them and what the basis of your program is. And so it's been an incredible thing to watch these girls mature and see how I handle things in three different lights, you know. But I could not be more ecstatic about what I was given here. It's honestly, it could not be any luckier.
And with your sport, we talked with, the track and field coach, volleyball coach, you're dealing with, and Shauna with the golf, the golf coach as well. You're dealing with a lot of different cultures. So on
Yeah,
top of
absolutely.
trying to be a head coach, and you're dealing with 18 to 22-year-old girls, then you throw different cultures and language barriers. I mean,
Yes, sir.
what hurdles have you done with that, and what help do you have, should I say, to really communicate?
I mean, I was very lucky on my college team. I was the only American. I mean, we had four different countries in South America, four or five European countries. We had a player from Africa and Ghana. We had an Australian. It was embraced. A young guy from Tulsa, Oklahoma, getting thrown. And no, you learn to shut your mouth and learn what's right and what's wrong, and what's right to how you grew up is not what's right to the rest of the world. And honestly, the hurdles aren't anything if you're willing to sit there and listen and see where they come from. Most of them are raised in amazing homes, and there's some times where I have to understand, like, the way I communicate and the way I articulate myself doesn't hit home right away. And I think understanding when to slow down and when to listen was probably the most important thing, because it's not their fault. This is their second, third language.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, honestly, they come in with they speak so well, they understand things so well. I mean, again, like, if it wasn't for that college experience, I probably would have struggled being a Southern guy, but that really kind of threw me into the deep water on how to survive in that. This has been amazing here. It's nothing really too tough, just making sure that you understand when things aren't 100%, kind of getting back to it and just asking the proper questions.
And let's talk about the team. Last season you made it to the NCAA tournament, went to the Norman
Ooh.
region. I mean, what was that like? I mean, you're the interim coach. All right, now go take us to the SEC tournament. Now let's go to the NCAA. So, I mean,
No,
again, what was it
it's
like to qualify? Like the moment you realized you qualified and you were selected for the NCAA tournament, what was that like for you in the team?
Porter, I was stressed for 2 weeks because we were the last team in. I mean, you talk about bubble line. We were
Yeah.
in and out five different ways. We were watching Iowa and Illinois play, and Illinois' number one was injured and out. And we're going, okay, this is the end of the world. We had lost to LSU at 12:30 in the morning after like a 6-hour match, in the third set on six.
Mm,
But it was, I mean, it's something they can't take away from you, right? They can't take away from the team. That banner, that's going on the banner.
heck yeah.
What I'll tell you is we're a lot better. We were a lot better than 42 in the country, and I don't need to argue about it. Anybody who played us knows. I think we got in our own way a lot, but I think that when it was time for this team to come together, you saw a 6-1 win against Auburn, who was 12 in the country. And it just showed the resilience of this group. I mean, to tell the full story, we went 6-3 to finish the regular season in the SEC. We finished middle of the pack after starting 0, what it was, 0-4, starting off slow, being 70 in the country. It was a wild ride. And to be honest with you, there's a big group of girls who make you look better than you actually are. And it was one of the most stressful things I've ever been a part of. I think I've told the girls at least twice a week, let's start off hot this year. But you know what? I wouldn't have had it any other way to sit there and get your name called and to see that all that hard work and all that stress and everything you went through was there for something. Now, again, we wanted to make a big run, and we have a lot of unfinished business. That pissed a lot of us off, not finishing the job there because we felt like we were one of the hottest teams going into that tournament. But I think looking back, there's so much appreciation because those girls had a lot to go through, and they fought harder than any group I've ever seen. And I'll take that, and that 2023 part on that banner. I'll come back every single year that I can, and I'll really appreciate that time.
And you looks like you have a lot of your depth. I mean, when we talk,
Yeah,
I've talked to a lot of the women's coaches, and people like Indiana and Morgan. You could throw Kelly in there, like when you're building a foundation of these women's programs. Like with what Chelsea Dungy did with the basketball program. What Danielle Gibson done with the softball program. What Taylor and Jill Gillen's doing with the volleyball program right now. You have
absolutely,
Oregon,
absolutely.
Indiana, Linka, Kelly. I mean, sitting right there as your
Yeah, Casey
foundation.
Harvey as well.
And what does that mean? I mean, you're talking about unfinished business. You got daggum near everybody coming back. How much is that, along with Carolina
No,
Gomez?
yeah, yeah, the freshman of the year is not too bad either. I mean, look, if you look at the depth of this, we have two of the last three freshmen of the year in the SEC. I think Morgan Cross is one of the all-time wins leaders. Kelly just finished top 50 in the country, made the NCAA tournament. Casey Harvey was 50 in the world transfer that's seen it all. I mean, she got what, 3 or 4 indoor national titles from UNC, and then Linka Starr was 45 in the world. And we looked up the stat the other day. Linka, if you're watching this, 21-3 in her career indoors at the University of
Wow.
Arkansas. No, I mean, what more can you want? But they chose to come back for this. They had the opportunity to kind of walk away, and a couple of them took the fifth years. And I think that we call it the last dance for a reason. Like we're gonna show some people, and I don't know if that means we're gonna be 100 in the country or 15 in the country. I really don't know. That's up to luck and what we bring at the right time. But I'll tell you this: it's a scary sight what we see in practice when they all want to do it. And there's a lot of NCAA appearances there, but one thing this program hasn't seen in the last 3 years, even though we've made it, is we haven't won in the postseason, and we are sick and tired of it. And I know my admin, no matter how much they tell me they love me, they're sick and tired of it. And we're not scared of expectation. They came back for expectation. We have we have a date that we talk about quite often that I'll keep to ourselves, that we expect ourselves to be there. And if it doesn't happen, that's on us, and we'll live with it. But every single day we're working for that. And some days are better than others. We're not perfect. I'm not perfect as a coach, but when I tell you that you're going to see a group that's going to prove something, you're going to see it first match out, especially when we get to kickoff. There's a lot of pissed off girls that are not happy with just putting that on one banner. We're tired of that banner. We're ready to go. But just to speak to the foundational aspect, I mean, what Morgan Cross, what Indiana Spink, and what Kelly Keller have done for this program, they've had a lot of different coaches. They've had a lot of different viewpoints, and the one consistency has been those three. I can't tell you how lucky I am to walk into that building and be able to, look at them. If I'm having a bad day, I know they know what they're doing. And then, having those two transfers like Linka and Casey to make 5 seniors, it's daunting, the recruiting,
Right.
let me tell you right now. But you know what, at the end of the day, if we do something special, I think they'll let me off the hook for a year or two, right?
Well, you're talking about the one that come from North Carolina. You said she has national championships on her.
On the indoor. So
In,
tennis works kind of similar in track, indoor and outdoor. So I mean, yeah, that North Carolina team, I think, has won more indoors in a row than anything else. It's incredible. So she brought a wealth of knowledge, just something that she's seen it. She's seen the depths. She's seen the best players in the country, and I don't think we're too far off from anything. One of these days, Porter, come out here and watch a practice, and you
I'm
tell me what
going
you think.
to. Yep. Well, and I wanted to ask like a 2-part question because it has to do with Casey and then the other
Yes,
fifth
sir.
years. What does it mean being able to say that for what you're starting off your program, your first full year, you get an indoor champion to buy into your program, and then you have everybody else like Morgan and Indiana, Link, that believe in what you're wanting to do, and they're wanting to come back for that fifth year. What does that say about you and where you're headed with this program?
I think it says more about the program in itself and what Arkansas and being a Razorback means. I honestly, like, we can kind of brag about certain things, and it's amazing that they would choose that. And if I was a part of that reason for coming back, but I think they chose to come back to come together. I think this team really, really believes in itself. To have Casey bring that wealth of knowledge. I remember that visit, getting her in between, the end of their regular season at North Carolina and going into their postseason was a lot of effort. But it was a process that was a lot of fun in that recruitment. We were just so excited that she would choose us, and she saw us as something that could benefit her career and show what she's wanting to prove. Because I think she's got a big chip on her shoulder as well. And then the other four, I mean, they're a special group. And I know I've said the term special a lot, but I want to reiterate, they are not scared of what we're going to do. I think the hard part is getting them to buy into a fall, right? Like it's like, okay, let's get to the real matches already. But we've had some success in the fall, even though it's been a long, tough one. I think I was gone like 25 to 30 days in October. I think my wife forgot who I was at one point, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But
I'm looking at the schedule right now. Yeah.
it's wild. It's absolutely wild. That's my fault, right? But it was good. We got battle tested. We've been working on some things. I think it's setting up to really we're picking and choosing when we want to peak, and we've been taking care of our bodies the best we can, and we'll see. We'll see on it. I have a lot of things I could say, but I'd rather the girls do the talking.
I'm looking at your last week, 2 weeks. You did a 3-day stint in College Station, and then 2 days later, you're in Illinois.
Oh, I gotta give my assistant some credit. My assistant. So we've had to do some swapping. Like I remember at one point I went from Hilton Head back to Fayetteville for a day. Went to All Americans, which we were there for 11 days. That was that was one of the best times of the entire fall. I mean, what a group we had 3 career high wins. Everybody got a ranked win. It was incredible. Flew straight to Dallas with a couple. Came back, and then that last one, Tati ended up taking them to A&M, go back to her old stomping grounds, and we took the other 2 for a pro tournament and let them rock it out before we go out and get back into the team stuff here and come January.
This is going to be kind of an off the wall kind
Go
of
ahead.
topic, but I'm looking at Cary, North Carolina. There's a lot of national championships. The soccer is there.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing this All-American championships there, and then I want to say they play a football championship there as well, on the D2 or something. What is it about that? I mean, Cary, North Carolina, that just attracts all of these national championship events?
You know what? It's a really unique place. I love the facility there because it's so big and spread out, and I can kind of speak to the environment we have. I thought it was one of the most incredible things that no matter where you see, it's the best of the best. I mean, and you saw the SEC, the best of the SEC, the best of the ACC, and so on and so forth, right? And you really get to test yourself early in the year, like, all right, who's got it, who doesn't? And it was really good for our team. We had 6 girls there, and we started looking around like, okay, everyone got better, and it was fun. It wasn't something to be scared of. It was like, okay, let's really see what we got. Like, let's really go at it. And it was a lot of fun, but the environment around it was a lot of fun. You go talk, you hang out with people, but when it came to the court, it was like, this level of tennis is fantastic. It brings a different excitement out of you. So it was an absolute blast. Now, 10 days, I don't know if I want to sign up for that one again, but you know what? If one of them makes another run like we did this year, I'll sign up for it.
Now you wrapped up your fall season on the 8th. Let us know. All right, catch us up. When do you get ready for the spring season? When can we start getting ready for all that?
So the girls will be back first week of January, and then we have a little preseason tournament in Indian Wells with a lot of good teams that we're extremely excited for. To be honest with you, really test ourselves early. It's something that we're making a change. I feel like we've had to play ourselves in, and we just want to get a lot of good matches to start. And then it's straight to business. We'll have a match before we go, and it's kickoff where we'll go to Michigan and play Purdue, who's a really good team. I think they finished in the top 60 last year, and we'll go see how it is in the indoor season. So we get straight to business into January in real meaningful tennis. And the schedule that we put together is daunting, but we did it for a reason. We've got a lot of trust in what these girls are, capable of doing. And we want to pick the big names on there each and every way. We want them to go big game hunting. You know what I mean? We can't talk the talk without trying to walk it.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Well, let us know, when y'all get the schedule posted, of course, we'll definitely share it. But Tucker, it was a pleasure getting to talk to you.
Man, I appreciate it.
Good luck in your first season here at Arkansas. And
I appreciate it so much.
You and your team.
No, we'll get together soon, brother. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
You too.
That was Tucker Clary, the women's tennis team. Again, I can't say nothing bad about the guy. I mean, when we went into or tour the facilities, I mean, he took us around, and Christina, the head coach at the time, was in a meeting, and just being able to go around the facility and just talk about the team. You knew the guy had a passion for the team. He was talking about all the incoming players and the rankings, and we have more international stars, and we're going to be able to get these people. It was just I was very hyped when I seen that he got the promotion, because you could just see what he wants to do. Best of luck to him in this season. Again, the schedule for the spring is not posted up yet, but when that does get posted and on the Arkansas website, we will definitely share that with you. But what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to rattle off what's been going on in the world of women's sports. We got a lot to catch up on with the soccer team, volleyball team, and of course the women's basketball team. Will be right back after a break.
Attention DIYers and home improvement enthusiasts. Are you searching for the right tools and the supplies to tackle your next project? Look no further than Mentor's Hardware Store. With locations in Ozark, Alma, and Clarksville, our vast selection of hardware and building materials is sure to have everything you need, whether you're fixing a leaky faucet or building a new deck. Plus, our knowledgeable staff is always on hand to offer expert advice and guidance. And with our competitive prices and convenient online ordering, Mentor's Hardware Store is your one-stop shop for all your DIY needs. Visit us today, and let's build something amazing together. Are you in need of legal representation? Look no further than the law offices of Robertson, Beasley, Shipley, and Robinson. As the oldest law firm in the River Valley, we have been serving our clients for over 100 years, with locations in Ozark, Fort Smith, and Spring. Our experienced team of attorneys provide expert guidance and advocacy in a wide range of legal areas, including personal injury, family law, criminal defense, and more. Trust in our history and experience to get the results you deserve. Contact the law office of Robertson, Beasley, Shipley, and Robinson today at 479-782-8813. That's 479-782-8813. Are you looking for a place to grab a cold drink and some delicious food? Look no further than Arkansas Brewing Company. Located at 201 South 1st Street in beautiful downtown Ozark, our establishment offers a wide selection of craft beers and tasty eats. What sets us apart is our welcoming atmosphere and friendly staff. At Arkansas Brewing Company, you'll always feel like part of the family. So visit Destiny and Christopher Brockett and staff today and see for yourself what makes us the go-to spot for locals and visitors alike. Arkansas Brewing Company, come for the drinks and stay for the friends. Searching for premium brewery products that will take your daily routine to the next level? Look no further than Sterling Soap Company. Our handmade soaps, aftershaves, and balms are made with only the finest ingredients that give you the ultimate grooming experience. With a variety of scents to choose from, there's something for everyone. Plus, our products are crafted in small batches to ensure the highest level of quality. So why wait? Visit www.sterlingsoap.com or visit our retail store at 16 West Walnut Street in Paris, Arkansas. Shop our collection and discover the difference for yourself. Upgrade your grooming routine with Sterling Soap Company.
And I want to welcome you back to the Weekly Women's Sports Report. And we're going to start off with soccer. Arkansas will take on Pitt in the second round on Friday, November 17th. That will be at 6:30. Tickets are available online. You can see that on ESPN Plus. Now, also with Arkansas hosting the second and third rounds, you'll be able to see all the action going on there at Fayetteville Park all weekend. So hopefully with Arkansas winning on Friday, you'll be able to see them all weekend long. Oh man, what a team! I mean, Bellafield with that hat trick performance against Grambling, and it was the most goals scored in a half by a women's soccer player in the NCAA tournament. So between Bella and Tank, I mean, they've just been Morgan White's been exceptional. And then, of course, the Queen Anna Podojil with 50 goals, 51 career goals, I believe. Just nothing but, I mean, it just shows that in the first half it was scoreless, and then you get 5 goals in the second half. That just shows you how powerful this team is. So they play 7-seed Pitt in the second round so for everybody going up for the football game, I don't know how many people that will be. But anyways, if you're going up Friday night, be sure to check out the soccer game if you can find a seat, because I'm telling you something right now. Fayetteville Razorback Field is one of the best soccer pitches in the country, and you talk about one of the best fan bases. Always getting 2,000 people plus, and I can't wait to see what they do with this renovation between the softball and soccer renovations that are coming soon to Fayetteville. Nothing but the best when it comes to what Colby Hale's built, and that just shows you when you build a successful soccer program, the university will do anything possible to make you succeed. Just like with what Tucker was talking about with the tennis program and his facilities. If he starts winning and starts building that program, what he's got with his 5 seniors this year, you're going to see improvements all around. Same thing with softball. Vogel Park going to get a renovation, and I can't wait to see 5 years down the road what the complexes around the entire campus at the University of Arkansas is going to look like when it comes to the soccer program. Volleyball, getting to have their own arena. There's not a lot of arenas or schools in the country that have their own arena. They share it with the gymnastics team, but to be able to pack Barn Hill, and that's where we'll move next, is with the volleyball team. They're playing right now. I had stats broadcast pulled up. I'm not sure right now on the score. I'll pull it up right now. If you just give me just 1 second, I can have the game pulled up. They're playing Ole Miss on the road right now. And it started at 7, so it should be underway. Not sure what set. I'm getting alerts going on, but it's still in the first set, and we are at 24-20. Ole Miss is leading in the first set. So another thing with this team, they've been down 2 sets before and come back and won. They've went down, first set and come back and swept the remaining sets. So with that being said, this team is on a roll. Coach Watson has done everything to basically solidify as the SEC Coach of the Year. You have Hannah Hogue, who just got her 5th weekly honor, Setter of the Week, and she's just a junior. So, a hometown or home state hero when you come to volleyball. We were just talking about the other sports a few weeks ago about homegrown talent in the state of Arkansas. Now you're starting to see it in volleyball. You see it in soccer. You're seeing it in the swim and dive. So and golf. Golf signed a girl for the 24 class from Arkansas. So it's good to see what the women's programs at Arkansas is doing. Now it's spreading out into the high school ranks where kids are seeing this and they want to go to Arkansas. Going back to the volleyball team, they dropped the first set 25-21 to Ole Miss, moving on to the second set. Their record right now, they are sitting at 22-4 overall, 12-2 in conference. And let me scroll down through the schedule as we move on. They have Ole Miss, Florida, and Ole Miss. Then they have Florida, Kentucky, and Auburn left on the schedule. So they have 2 on at home. They play Florida and Kentucky on Sunday and Wednesday of next week, and they play Friday at Auburn. So even though it's Thanksgiving week next week, that's tough. With you have Thanksgiving week and you got to play 3 games to close out the season against Florida, Kentucky, and Auburn. And let me pull up the standings right quick. We'll pull up the volleyball standings and see how far ahead they are. They're sitting at 12-2 in conference. Kentucky's 13-1. Tennessee's sitting at 12-2. So now they've dropped down to the 3rd spot in the SEC standings, even though they are evened up with Tennessee. Tennessee is 21-3 overall, and Arkansas is 22-4 overall. So very, very tight race between all of that. Those 3 teams, and then you have one of those coming to Barn Hill Arena next week in Kentucky. So that just shows you how competitive the top half of this volleyball season's been, that you're doing so well, but yet you're sitting in third place technically when you look at the team standings. But I don't care, because I'm nothing but proud of what this team has done, how far they've come. I mean, we talked to Tucker about, bringing up the tennis program and having 5 seniors. What Taylor and Hannah, Jill, Maggie, Courtney, everybody that has been a part of this program really build this thing up. And the one thing that I'll say is, when I've talked to every single one of these coaches, not one of them, and this is not coach speak, because I mean, getting to be able to visit with each one of them on a personal level, and you hear the passion they have for their team. When they say that it's about the kids and they're humble and they don't want any of the credit for their success, I mean, they mean it. And Coach Watson is one that I said before the season that if any coach, deserves an SEC title or SEC Coach of the Year, he's it, because he's such a nice guy, genuine, loves the press, loves the media attention that his team and his girls are getting. And I'll give a huge shout out to, Pig Trail Nation, Hogs Plus, Ethan Westerman, and over there, the ones that are really continuously giving out the women's coverage on all the sports. Because you can ask Paul Boyd, you can ask Alyssa Orange, of Pig Trail Nation. There was 4 or 5 years ago, was very few of us that even talked about these programs. And now you're seeing every media outlet possible talk about the women's programs. That's how much of the success has come. All these teams and all these programs are doing very well, and nothing but the best to Coach Watson and the team the rest of the way. Again, we're tied up 1-1 in set 2. And again, another thing, I know it's a busy weekend when we come to sports and holiday travel, but if you could somehow, some way, come out to Barnhill Arena on Sunday or Wednesday to cheer this team on, to send the seniors off, the regular season, I'm sure the way that they're playing, they'll be able to host in the NCAA tournaments. But again, with these last 4 matches left, it's going to be, you're going to have to stay on top of and stay on top of the SEC and really keep your seeding going, because we know how fast it can slip away. But we'll wrap things up with the women's basketball team. And I said before the season that Talia Scott was going to be a name to watch out for. Watching her in practice, watching her to the way she's handled herself, man, I didn't expect it this soon. I knew she was great. She's averaging 24 points a game and only had 18 points against Little Rock. But I mean, but the way she handled herself after the game in the press conference, you could just see how poised she is. It's a breath of fresh air to see somebody come in when you got Michaela and Sam there. Michaela in her last season at Arkansas, Sam, Mac and Sam for the past 2 years, when it come to the guard play, really took a lot of the minutes and really took a lot of the brunt of this team when it comes to their play and getting gas at the end. And I know this is a very important year for this team, and they're talented. Yes, they got a lot of things they need to work on defensively wise, but that can be all sorted out. There's just 3 games in the season. But with that being said, Talia's the real deal. I won't go on record right now and say she's the best to come out and play. I know it's only 3 games in, but you can already see things that, like what Michaela was doing her freshman year, what Chelsea was doing her first year at Arkansas, Amber, when she would go off. Talia's putting it together every single game. I mean, it's just incredible to watch her take over a game, but the team gives her those reins. They let her take over the game. They gave her that confidence to go for 29, go for 18. I cannot wait. I'm a huge women basketball fan. And then you got Mikey Williams, Michaela Williams out of LSU, and then Malaysia Fulwiley out of South Carolina. Those guards are freshmen. This has got to be one of the best freshman classes I've ever seen when it comes to sheer talent. That's just on the East Coast and in the South. And then you got Juju out there on the West Coast. I mean, it's incredible. Then the name is slipping me right now, but the freshman out of Notre Dame. I mean, there's so much talent that has made this sport fun to watch, exciting. You can thank Caitlin Clark. You can thank South Carolina. You can thank LSU. Everybody was this is when you've made it, is when you're happy that, and I was one of them. When LSU drops a game to Colorado and everybody's celebrating it, that's when you've made it, because that they are caring that somebody lost. And you can say what you want about it, but when you're caring when somebody loses, when you set expectations on something, that means they care. Whether they can come back and say they don't care, and even if they say they don't care, you're making a comment saying you don't care. Well, you care in that moment. It's awesome to see. I can't wait to see these teams tip off. Arkansas plays Arkansas State on Friday, November 17th in Jonesboro, and then they'll be back Monday, November the 20th against Central Arkansas before they head to Fort Myers to play in the this is a long name. So this is the Evolence Health Women's Fort Myers Tip-Off Suncoast Credit Union Arena. Say that 5 times fast. Well, they're going to play Wisconsin, Marquette, or Boston College. That's going to be Friday, November 24th, and then Saturday on November 25th. So then you have a fast turnaround. You got to go to the SEC ACC Challenge. So you're going to be in Fort Myers, Florida on 24th, 25th, and then Thursday the 30th, you're going to be in Tallahassee taking on the Fighting Alyssa Oranges and Florida State. So a tough week in store for all of these schools, a tough week for, volleyball. Soccer's playing the NCAA tournament. And then you got women's basketball playing some in-state talent, and then they go to Fort Myers, and then it's going to get real in the next 2 weeks for the women's basketball team. We're really going to see, how they take the bumps and the bruises and the setbacks, because you're not going undefeated. It's just not going to happen. So that's when we talk about celebrating losses. What we're going to see what this team can gain when they drop a game, when they go on a 2-game skid, if that happens, which it probably will happen. It's happened every year. So it's going to make for, Thanksgiving holiday to be very stressful, which if anybody has family and they're hosting Thanksgiving, they can attribute to having a stressful Thanksgiving. So what we're going to do is we're going to wrap things up. I really want to thank Tucker for coming on the show tonight to talk about the women's tennis team. Really want to thank Meadors Lumber for sponsoring the weekly Women's Sports Report. All of our sponsors, all of our fans, listeners. It's been a crazy month, and I know we dealt with some things last week, but hopefully we can get past that. We can get things settled with this football program and see where things are headed. And again, we'll see what happens with the future of this program and next season. But that will do it for this week's weekly Women's Sports Report. As you're seeing, as we wrap up, Ole Miss has taken a 10-6 lead in the second set. But we will catch you up on all things after the broadcast. I'll catch you up on all things that's going on with this game. Be sure to look at our link every week, and we have posted on all the sports, all teams, where they're playing, who they're playing against, and if it's televised, we will have that right beside that too as well. So be sure to keep track with us on the Hog Talk. Adam's doing a killer job with keeping up with the graphics and the schedules and stuff. So big kudos to him. Fortunately, couldn't make it tonight, but we're going to catch you out on that. If you don't get to come see us on Sunday and join in on the broadcast, I want to wish everybody a happy holiday, safe travels for the Thanksgiving. Try not to get too full and come back and see us next Sunday.